All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, December 14th. My name is Quila Buhler, and I'll be doing the training today. I've not muted the lines. The lines are pretty quiet, so I'd like to keep them that way so that we can go ahead and have some interaction, but might need to mute them a little bit later on. We're going to go ahead and get right into this. All right. So before we get started, we'll kind of just do some updates, time to share. Kind of want to know if anybody has anything that they'd like to share during the week. Most people are kind of shy when it comes to that, but if there's anything that you'd like to share about your real business, go ahead and this would be the time.
I have a fun little story from last night.
Yes.
There was a gal that goes to church, and I spoke with her last week, and she was talking about needing her hip replaced and this and that. And it was a conversation in the bathroom, so I kind of felt like it was a missed opportunity because I didn't really say anything. I mean, I built the relationship. I listened, and I just cared about her, and, that's never a bad thing. But so I wrote her on Facebook just, hey, you were on my heart. I just wanted to share this and invite her to our Christmas event that we're hosting on Tuesday. And she's a little older in age, so not one that checks Facebook very often, which is also all right. But I didn't hear from her, and I just thought, oh, man, and I'm not going to be at church this Sunday. So I thought, oh, dang, just like, I'll talk to her eventually, but whatever. And I went to this event last night that this children's choir that's connected through our church, but it's, anyway, she ended up being there, and then what made me think
you're going
was
in
my
and
mom.
Hey, Lauren, you're going in and out. Like we're hearing like every other word.
Oh,
That's
no,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But so anyway, I ended up running into her at this Christmas event, and it ended up working out better because I was with my mom, so my mom was able to share her results and encourage her, and I was able to get her phone number and invite her to Tuesday. So it's just neat how God works sometimes, that you think that you missed this opportunity, and then God ends up being, showing up and making it just a better opportunity than you could plan yourself.
That's great. I fully believe that as well. That's great. Who else wants to share? Anyone else? Well, I can tell you that every week when we have things going on, the Lairds are usually sharing something that's happened, and that is how you build your business. And we're going to talk a lot about today. If you can kind of look at the background, it's just, to me, this was like represented working, and that's what we're going to talk about. What about Hawaii? How are people doing on moving forward on earning their points towards going to Hawaii? Anybody want to share with that?
Quila, this is April.
Hi, April. Welcome.
Thank you. I can't say that I have, my life has been in a fury recently, and I haven't really jumped into tracking the points, but I did have something that was a kind of a unique experience today about sharing about what Relive can do. I ended up kind of having a little mini health crisis and ended up in the ER and had a CT scan as a result, and I'm doing fine. It's totally fine now, but the imaging specialist, he said, in talking about how the CT would process through my body, that the contrast.
April, it's kind of muffled just a little bit. I mean, we're here. I want to make sure everyone can hear this, so just, it's muffled. We're muffled just a little bit.
Okay. Let me see if I can change the phone. Hold on.
That's better. Right there is better. Something just happened. So we're good.
Is this a little bit better now?
Yes, much better.
Okay. Anyway, as the imaging specialist who took my CT test, as he was explaining how this contrast material would process through my body, he goes, "You have excellent kidneys." And I said, well, he said, "Excellent kidneys." I said, "Like everyone does?" And he goes, "No, you do." And I mean, at age 60, he said, "You have the kidney function of a healthy 18 or 19-year-old. I'm like, I
Wow.
said, well, it's probably because of the supplements I take. And he goes, really? What is it? And I told him about it, and he was very interested. He goes, do you have a business card? I want to get in touch with you. And he said, I am here in the hospital. He goes, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but he said, obviously when people need medication, I need medication, but he said too often people end up with cannonballs. That's what medication does to them. And he says, if there is a healthy way you can take care of things with herbs and stuff, oh my gosh, that is so much better for my body, for your body. And he goes, I'm seeing it, and this guy was middle-aged, and he says, I'm seeing it all the time in the hospital. I'm realizing I need to take better care of my health because I don't want to have to rely on medication. I've seen what it does to people, and he gave him a few more details. But I was just thrilled that even in the middle of something that was kind of a big bump in the road for me for that day, that I was able to share with someone, and he, being in the healthcare business, just was like, oh yeah, this is where people need to go. And he says, I'm interested. So anyway, it was just kind of an exciting little nice silver lining on a little bleep of a cloud that I had. But like I said, I'm doing fine now. So.
And isn't that fun how, you turned something that was lemon and made it into lemonade. So that's fun. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. So
thank you.
Quila, this is me,
yes.
Smith, and
Hi,
so
Nita.
this week, this was a week of sort of trying. My husband's had a lot of issues this week, but you know what? I did just like April, and was sitting there waiting for some of my husband's meds, and was talking to this lady, just building a relationship, and she mentioned that she had so many health problems, and she had breast cancer and a mastectomy and diabetes, and wow, I shared my diabetes story, and how she's coming to my lunch and learn on Tuesday, she and her husband both, so I'm excited about that, and just been sharing, and I have potential for 2 quick starts next week, and so I'm going to be getting those points.
Yay! Congratulations. That's great. You guys, if you're hearing that what is happening here, it's being a product of the product, obviously with April's kidneys. And isn't that amazing? Because you can't really see those on the outside, but it's on the inside. That's what's always amazing with Relive, is we just don't know what's going on until you do have blood work or you do have imaging and things like that. The other thing is just getting out there and talking. I want to make sure everybody's recognizing for conference. It's the first weekend in April, and up in Concord, California, preparing for that. You can get your early tickets now. I know I've got mine. For those of you in California, obviously you'll be driving. But for those of us that are going to fly in, you want to do that. Also want to let you know that this is the last Saturday they'll be using Join Me, and notices were kind of sent out to your uplines and or you, if you are the upline, and or the areas. We're going to change over to Zoom. It's much easier, and it's about half the price. And so that's going to be happening. And yeah, so I want to move forward. And you'll be getting a notice on that. I want to move forward about what we really have. As I was thinking about putting the training together today, I've gone on the podcast, I've looked at all these things, and we have all this stuff. But I kind of want to go back to remembering what we've got. And what I did is I pulled some slides from some things that we've done over the years. And what you'll realize is the theme of Relive never changes. It's always been the same. And get started here. So if you go to Chesterfield, you'll see, our headquarters, and this is what the outside looks like. And this is what, we used to show on our business opportunity meetings. And that first slide says, experience life on your own terms. I was really trying to think if we really understand what that means. I think that, I don't think that we do. I think that everybody just gets so put into a cubicle of finances, and this is how much I get to make, this is how much I get to spend, this is how my life will be, and this is how my health will be, and I think that we just get stuck there. And I'm saying that you can do more things. We always had 4 pillars of Relive. There's always been the mission of the company. We've always had Relive itself, our products, and then the opportunity. And again, I'm not going through a business opportunity. I'm going through a few slides here that I think that maybe some of you haven't really seen. Relive started with a product. It wasn't just people getting together and saying, let's start a company, but we were founded on a product, and that was the Classic. It was founded by Robert and then his wonderful wife, Sandy, who passed away a few years ago. That original leadership is still there. Robert is still involved, and Ryan is the president. It's just kind of, or the CEO. Robert is chairman of the board. But we have over 30 years of success with this company, and that's saying something. Most companies, you have a very small percentage that make it, 5 years, 10, 15, 20, even 25. We do our own manufacturing. That's the reason that the 24K is being changed from a liquid form back into a powdered form, because we want to make sure that we have control of that manufacturing, and we're international. So those are things to think about. We nourish our world, body, mind, and spirit. I love Dr. Cloggers. Some of you have met him, some of you have not. We always say it was a combination of Abe Lincoln, Santa Claus, and Albert Einstein. He was just this wonderful man, and he said he felt that he should be ashamed to die without scoring a victory before mankind. That's what his father told him. So we have some pictures here, and I'm sure that some of you guys have seen these, but I brought these in. And these are just pictures of children before and after, 1 year old, weighed 7 pounds, 3rd degree. And I was thinking my granddaughter, who's 4 months, weighed 16 pounds. So he weighed basically half of her. 8 months in our feeding program, and wholly different little baby. This little guy had edema, sores all over his body, 4 months on the road. Kids now, healthy and happy. That's just kids now. And look what that does. And then 2 years old, 8 pounds at 2 years old, 2 feet tall. And then after being on the product, 19 days, gained 6 pounds, so basically doubled their weight after 19 days with muscle. It's kind of amazing, and I think we really forget what we have. So we spend over $2 trillion a year on treating chronic conditions, not preventing. We're out there just treating them. And April, you alluded to it with all the medications. We're not trying to make a difference and cure these. So I loved this. This was done for a long, long time ago from some other people that have been in Relive, and they talked about how healthy are you. So if you defined your health, if you were looking at a stoplight, there's green for go, yellow is for caution, and red's for stop. Well, to be in that green part, you're in excellent health. You don't have any physical restrictions. You wake up before your alarm. You don't have to take naps. Your stomach's not upset. You're pain-free, you're medication-free, and you can run a mile. If you can do that, or let's say all of those but one, you're in really great health. But let's go to the middle one. So let's just again look at this. So you think you're healthy, but you're kind of stiff in the morning. You need to lose a little bit of weight. Tired every day. Oh, you got allergies. You don't have a lot of energy. You're on medication. Kind of feel bloated all the time. You've lost your edge. Red is when you're in a physical crisis, you've got a diagnosed disease, you're under medical supervision, you're on prescription medication, you have high blood pressure, you're diabetic, you have arthritis, you have lots of pain, you have lots of surgeries, and you are overweight or obese. You guys, we need to supplement almost every day. Almost every chronic disease can be reversed through diet and lifestyle. Did you know that? Almost every chronic disease is self-inflicted. Dr. Cloggers used to say that we're eating ourselves to death, and that one day we'd be the most overfed, undernourished country in the world, and we are. And I think we forget we can change all this. So the benefits of good nutrition, what can it do if you're in the red? It can decrease the side effects of medications if you're on them. It can make your medications more effective, especially the Lunar-Rich X capsules. Your doctor may lower your medication. You can start to feel alive again. You're going to lose weight, have less pain, and then you move to the yellow light. Well, the benefits of in the yellow light, no need for stimulants, your joints aren't stiff, your allergies melt away, you sleep really good, you avoid flus and colds, no more headaches, got great energy, and you're going to lose weight. You're in the green, you're going to maintain. You're going to prevent chronic disease. You're pain-free, medication-free, healthy weight, able to exercise, plan an active retirement, and enjoy traveling. I'm in the green. I'm 58 and a half. I'm in the green, and I love it. And many of you on this call are in the green, some are in the yellow, some are in the red. But the thing is, you have to really figure out, where are you? All right. Good health is something that, some people say, well, I'm just born with it. Well, yes, maybe, but remember, we can do something about it. 8 out of 10 people will suffer and die from chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer and diabetes. So why is that happening? Well, we always talk about this, the loss of nutrients in our crops. Many people live on processed and junk foods. Many people live on fast foods and processed foods. I love Costco, favorite store. But you can go in and buy breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks all in a box. Nothing's fresh. And we have inefficient digestion, absorption, and you have excess fats and sweets. Okay? That's why we need to supplement. So we know that Reliv's good. We've got Dr. Carl. He's an amazing man. Council of Responsible Nutrition Board of Directors, 30 years involved with Reliv. Amazing products. I was thinking today I actually prepare my shakes 3 weeks ahead of time. I make individual packets because people say, man, you take a lot of product. You know what? I do, but I'm also in the green. I'm the green light. I'm on meds. I don't have chronic diseases, and I'm able to do all those things. So I'd rather be preventing than covering up symptoms with medication. So we've got several patents, and we've got money back guarantees. So we all know that we've got bioavailability, synergism, we've got the great nutrients. I want to talk about the Luna-Rich because I think sometimes we forget about this. Luna-Rich has 5 to 10 times more lunicin than ordinary soy powders. We refine it for maximum bioavailability, incredible health benefits. Love, love, love this product. And we have direct supervision from the seed to the can, and you can only get it from Reliv. I was talking to a person a couple days ago. I saw her, and she was, I was actually at the hospital, and she was straining her own coffee. And I said, well, that's interesting. And she goes, yeah, she goes, they have supervision about the crops that are around it so you don't get all of the, the GMOs and all that kind of stuff. You guys, do we realize what that is? Do we talk about that? Do we really go into how great our products are? I think we've kind of forgotten that. All right, so the benefits of Luna-Rich, lower cholesterol. Last year, I did the 4 at night, and I think you guys know my story where I was taking like 10 a day and nothing really happened, but I lowered my CRP, creatine reactive protein, from like a 2.8 to a 0.3, which basically means I have no inflammation in my system. You need a little, but I don't have any that's going to contribute to chronic diseases. But I did the 4 last year in 2016. 17. And then what was it? Something lowered by 50 points. I need to remember what it is. I just took my 24K on my second shake this morning, so I'm still getting going. My triglycerides. Yeah, I was happy about that. So lower cholesterol, reduce blood pressure, inflammation, improve your cardiovascular health, skin health, anti-aging, weight loss, normalizes your blood sugars, improve chronic disease. Those are great things. All right, we partner. Lunicin, okay, so we're a part of that. We partner with all these different colleges, UC Davis, that's where Dr. Galvez is from, the Missouri Plant Science Center, Illinois, Cal Berkeley, all these different things, right? Center for Disease Control, Institute of Health, Cancer Research, Cancer Institute, all those things. All right, you guys, we need to take our shakes. They nourish your cells, build your immune system, and detox. All right, we talk about weight loss, which let me go through this slide real quick. I don't want to go too much on these products. But we know that Reliv is the answer, you guys. We know that. So who do you know? So let's talk about the business side. And then I'm going to go into on the building part. We know that we're in a $1 trillion industry. Direct sales is well over 15 million distributors in the U.S. alone, and we have that answer. Let's talk about your financial health. Let's talk about where are you? Is your financial health, are you red, yellow, or green? So red, you're broke. You've got lots of debt. Bad credit, no credit, paying interest, no savings, you're or underemployed, you're not able to pay your bills, bankruptcy, and you're extremely stressed. That's your red. Go to the yellow. You're not as bad as red, but you're surviving. You're working incredibly long hours. You're not really happy with your job. Maybe you've got a second job. You're not saving any money for the future. You're very limited on credit. There's no freedom, and you do not have any time for your family. Green. You're successful in your business. You've got passive and residual income. You're able to leverage that. You've got savings, investments, retirement funds. You were generous with your donations. You're able to help and serve others in time and freedom. I'll tell you, Jim and I were in the green. I love that. And it is because of Relive. It is because, 27 and a half years ago, now going on 28 for next year, we invested in a company and we worked. And we worked hard, and we were able to do that. It's amazing, almost 3 decades that we've been involved with this company. So the business, great. Workers from home. We have an unlimited market, low overhead, very low investment. We've got unique products that everyone needs. There's no regulations really here. Few employees are able to leverage yourself, time, and money. So this is where I want to talk about let's build a business. So when you're building a business, and I'm talking to distributors now, and I think everyone on here is a distributor, and if some of you are new, maybe you haven't heard about this, but if some of you have been around, this is what I want to talk about. When we built our business, I worked really hard, and there were things that I gave up. There were things that I set to the side, and you can't, Relive is so amazing, and it's so simple always just to say, this is great, and I'm good. But we took this seriously as a business. We didn't take it as a hobby, or an interest, but we built it as a business. And things did get tough. And what I would do is I refreshed my memory on why I got involved with Relive, thus the previous slides on what we're involved with. You need to remember the heart of what our company is, the mission, the character, what this all stands for, and the core values of Relive. You guys, Relive is an amazing, amazing company to be involved in. It's a privilege to be involved with it. It's something where we've been involved now again for such a long time, and on the 15th of the month, our check's always been deposited. Never had to wait, never had a problem. They're not late on their bills. It's wonderful. They take care of you. All right. So you make a business decision, master affiliate, we know what that means. When you're sponsoring a new distributor, you need to work with them. And this is what, when we first got out there, and if I have someone right now that wants to demand my time, I'll give them 100% of my time unless they give me a reason not to. The reason not to is not plugging into calls, it's not being involved, not going to conferences, not just being involved in our area. Don't try to reinvent everything. You guys, we know what works, and especially now you get on the podcast, there's so many different tools we did not have that can validate what you're doing. Everyone might want to think about doing all these other things. We have a Relive system, and we know that it works, and that's the great thing. All right, other things that we've learned. Rekindle your faith that you have in the products. If you're not getting the results you're looking for, then take another shake. My daughter, Stephanie, who's been on the products since she was 2, her husband's now getting ready to graduate with his PhD, and, she's going to be 30, and she just feels like she's had a little bit of stress or heartburn. And I said, well, what happens when you take your shake? And she goes, well, it goes away. Well, what am I telling her? Take another shake. And, recognize that helps with the situation. So rekindle that faith you have. Remember and learn about Dr. Ted. Dr. Carl and Dr. Galvez are the hope of our future. And it's Dr. Galvez as Dr. Carl gets older. Our products work, you guys. We know that when people take them, they get great results. Remember that this business opportunity that you have, remember and understand the compensation plan. Products work, 30 years. Actually, it's over 30 years, sorry. When people tell you no, it's not a no forever. My husband, Jim, he used to always say that children have to be told no, or they'll ask their mom if they, or parents if they can have something like six times, and on the seventh time the parent finally goes yes, because they just don't want to hear it anymore. But sometimes people need to hear it. Many people that have gotten involved in Relive have heard about Relive before, and then the individual that exposed it to them, maybe they either aren't active or something, or they just kind of faded away, and then somebody else comes along and says, hey, have you heard about Relive? And they go, I have. Tell me about it. What you're doing is you're softening the market. And if you don't follow up on what you're doing, you're basically softening the market for someone else. So the work's waiting on you. You got to get out there and do it. Let's see. Have faith in yourself. We can do it, and we will do it. I think this is probably the hardest one right here, is having faith in yourself. Because even listening to what Lauren was sharing this morning, she thought, oh, well, we tend to think the worst when something doesn't immediately happen our way or turn out the way that we want to. We just seem to think that is, we failed. And you are going to fail in this. You're going to have so many successes, but you'll have failures too. For some reason, people in Relive seem to think that they shouldn't have failures in Relive. You're going to. It's how we learn. It's how anyone learns in building anything. But to avoid excess of those, you learn by what other people have done, and that's why you grab a hold to your upline and you work with them. So you're going to have people that tell you no. You're going to have people that are going to return product. It doesn't happen very often. But some will, some won't. So what? Move on. You need to really, really get that. I need to look at this chat box. Let's see. Robert says that she's been talking with Annie this week, and the Cloggers Foundation needs more support to end the year. So what that means is that we haven't met our goals, or perhaps last year's goals. And then I don't know who viewer 13 is, but let's see. They said they took one capsule and felt the difference. And I'm glad you like the slides, April. I think it's fun to kind of, well, where are we? All right, let's go. So I think that we need to recognize, again, what your business is valued at. If you're making a couple $100s a month, that's equal to having, a couple $100,000 in the bank. If you have $200,000 in the bank, that's going to be at, I think that's making about 4% maybe. That's equal to about $500 a month. So think of it that way. Think about if you're making, $500 a month. That's equal to having about $200,000 in the bank. Even if it takes you a year to get that, can you save $200,000 and put that in the bank? No. Recognize what you have. You're building an annuity, right? That's the most important thing, is to recognize what you've built. Okay, so things we've learned to avoid. Putting a square wheel on the vehicle. Our system, it runs fast and it's very smooth. We don't need to go in there and add all these things to it. Negative attitudes. You guys, I can't stand that. Tom Panic, don't ever say anything negative to him because he doesn't like it. There's really nothing to be negative about in Relive. If you have a problem with your upline or your downline or cross line, kind of keep it to yourself, because maybe other people don't, and all you're doing is just kind of, poisoning the, you just don't want to do that. Maybe you're not getting the results. Okay, I love Now. For me, Now works better than Classic, but I still will take Classic, but I prefer Now. Do I say if somebody wants to take Classic, I say, well, I don't know. No, that's what they want to take. Great. Okay, so don't have a heart attack when someone else is sharing their story and maybe they say that they take this product and maybe you go, well, I don't know. You guys, all of our products are great. So recognize that. And all of our bodies, although we're made pretty much the same, we are a little bit different. And while one product might work really well for me, another product might not work for me, or maybe that works for you. So I love all of our products. Our system works, you guys. We've got a system in place, and it's why it works. And the industry embrace it. I think right now with the economy, you know, we learn from history, and everything has cycles, and we're in a very strong economy right now. And I was listening to the radio yesterday, and they were talking about how people that have jobs, everything from custodians to people that work at Starbucks to engineers, they literally are just leaving their job for something else. You know, eventually, at some point down the road, and hopefully it'll stay strong for a while, but people, I find with a home business, people, they tend to gravitate to what we have more when the economy isn't doing as well, when jobs are a little bit scarce, when perhaps they're feeling threatened in their job themselves, and as those opportunities aren't as open. So here's what I'm saying. Get your foundation in there. Get yourself built, because eventually things in the economy, they ebb and flow. And your business will have it. I'm just trying to tell you that as those job opportunities, I'm not at all praying for a terrible economy. I'm not. But I'm just telling you that I think that as the economy changes, so does your business as far as bringing people into what a home business. I hope that makes sense. So let me know if that makes sense. I hope that that's what I was trying to say. All right. I think that we think that everyone can do relive. Okay. Everyone in the world does need to take our relive products. That's been a vision of Tom Pennick and Bob's, that we'd have, relive in their cupboards, just like, Kleenex is tissue, Kellogg's, we, think of cereal, but we'd like to think of relive as nutrition in everyone's cabinets. And, okay, Christina said that makes sense. Yay. Oh, let me go back. Yay. Okay. All right. Everyone in the world will not make a good distributor. I had a person that was bound and determined in my downline that this individual is going to make a great distributor, and she wanted me to do a three-way with him. And I got on the phone, and we got to talking. He was very nice, and we were just talking. And I kind of brought up the fact about business. He goes, "Oh no!" And here's the thing: the distributor that I had in my downline was telling me that this person, I just know they're going to be a good distributor. This person lives out in the middle of nowhere, wants absolutely really nothing to do with anybody, hates talking on the phone, and doesn't want to go anywhere. That person is not going to make a good relive distributor. We can't, I always find it interesting on how we try to, sometimes you can't expect people to do something that they're not capable of doing. Okay, we can change pattern, we can change behavior, but instilled in people are personalities. Those are things that, that's who they are. We need to recognize that. You can look at that person and recognize that they know 700 people that they can refer you to. So look at it that way. You want to look for people with character and core values. I'm not about to spend my time with anyone that's shady, tried to cut corners, tries to do anything that is not straight up. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to work with them. And then you also need to think, do I like this person? Is this somebody that I want to have in my home? When we were starting to build this business, we'd have big parties in our house twice a month and lots of different things. I remember once there was an individual there that, let's just say that they believed in a darker view of faith, and that resonated. And Jim just said, "I'm sorry, you just can't be in our home." And I was fine with that, because you have to say, what do I want to? You're going to be working with these people for the rest of your life. Make sure it's someone that you like. Okay. I always say, I always tease and say, well, if I like them, but our personalities clash, and I give them to my downline. I'm just teasing. But always makes, you want to get the right people involved in your business. think of it this way. You're building your own board of directors. Who is it that you want on there that's going to have your back, and that you're going to have it with them, and that you're going to want to travel the world together? That's what you're thinking of, is what you want to build. So stop looking for sick people. Stop being out there and thinking that you can cure everyone. There are people out there that love being sick. My mother, her social life before she passed away, on their calendar was all of their doctor's appointments. Loved it. That's what her whole life evolved around, was doctors and being sick. Okay? You want to be alert for the people that are sick, but remember that it's the healthy people that need our products in our business. We should never prejudge. Many, many, many of the top distributors in Relive, if you look at Joyce Holthouse, Debbie Baker, Sean Bergeron, Tommy Moody, Tom Pennick, those people, sure, they had little health problems, but they got into the business because of the business. Okay, they weren't out there being sick. Joan Carol Felger, go down and look at all of the top distributors in Relive, and 90% of them are people that were healthy, that needed a business opportunity. Stop looking for people that are unemployed. There's a reason that they're unemployed. Let me change that. There are people that are unemployed, but people that have been unemployed for a long time, there's a reason, and you often learn the hard way why they are. Some people wouldn't work tasting pies in a pie factory. I mean, if it was a coffee taster or ice cream taster, they wouldn't even do that. There are people that are happy where they are. And I just think that it's something that we forget. It's network marketing, not net play marketing. And you want to look for successful people because they're going to succeed in Relive. I know that Cindy Netherland, and she would run ads a long time ago, and she would ask people, you know, if you want to build a business with someone and they want to build a business with you, if they don't have access to the internet, that might not work. That's the way that we communicate in our business. It is the way that today is. It's very difficult if people say, well, you know, could you call me? Nope. If it's their business, they need to put some skin in the game. They need to be able to do something at their end. It's one of those things that, you know, if you've got a special event and, you know, people are telling you how much they want to do Relive, you guys, everybody wants to have success. Everybody wants to be a presidential ambassador. Everybody wants to do that. Very few people are willing to do it. Your job is to sift through. And it's really, out of 100 people, you're probably going to get 2 ambassadors. If you have 100 master affiliates, you're probably going to get 2 ambassadors out of that. Are you willing to work hard? What happens if you don't get those 2 until you're at 90? Okay? You just need to kind of keep going through it. It's just what it is. So it's work. All right. When I do find that when people are building this business, sometimes they don't listen. Just listen to what your distributors are telling you, what they want to learn and what they want in Relive. Okay? If they tell you that, you know, I just want to earn a couple $100 a month, okay, to earn a couple $100, to earn a couple $1,000, it's the same thing. But obviously we have different levels of commitment in what we're doing. But don't try to push them. Don't. You're going to be a revolving door. You're going to bring people in and push them out because you're not listening to what they're telling you, what they want to do. You'll know how to help them reach their goals when you know what they are. Okay, that's so important. Can't help anybody unless we know what they want. And you know what? If they are just hanging around and are happy where they're at, great. Then you can be happy too. And we talk a lot about goals. I think for the new year, you know, I was trying to think of different goals. And one of the things is that we always ask people what their goals are. But I think that, you know, if you want to build this business, you should be writing down your goals and you should be telling your upline what they are. That's part of being a leader and being self-motivated at your end. Avoid learning the words in tune to I did it my way. Totally agree. You really want to do the system. Just plug into what we've got. So the things that we've adopted, The comparison of Relive Business to a space shuttle launch, we just didn't blast off and go up into space, go up and then come back down just as fast when Relive started as a business. We've been a slow progression into the altitude, and that we've been staying there. I mean, we didn't go up and fall back down. Do the right things for the right reasons, and not just when you feel like it. You guys, Relive is not always convenient. It's the best thing that ever happened to Jim and I as far as a business in our life. Best thing. It's provided us a lifetime of stability, of friendships, of travel, of health, all those things. But I also did things, took phone calls, did presentations, did all these things sometimes when it wasn't always convenient. You guys, building a business isn't convenient. And a lot of people sometimes with Relive, they think, well, if you run it like a store, my doors are only open from this to this. If you want to build your business, you need to have your doors open from this to this. You need to have a little bit more flexibility in being able to do that. Don't allow people to rob you of your dreams. I remember my father, after the first couple of years, after 5 years, after 10 years of being in Relive, he'd still question it. Are you making any money? Well, after 5 years, after 10 years of this company, and finally I just said, Dad, really successful. We've made a six-figure income now. At that time, it was for 5 years. It took us 5 years to make a six-figure income, and I remember on our 10th year, I told my dad we've been doing that for 5 years, and he knew. But no matter what, people sometimes don't like to see you having that success because they like to wallow where they're at. Believe me, people love having an excuse of why they should just sit around and watch The Price is Right and, eat bonbons all day. They like doing that, and it's okay. I'm not judging, but if you don't have to listen. Why do we listen to people that don't know where they're going? Why would you follow someone like that? You need to follow your dreams and the things that you want to do. Don't listen to people that have critical comments about our products, the industry, and company. Again, that's why I started in the beginning. Do we know what our products really do? Okay, the majority of people that are on this call are in the green and in the yellow mark. You've got some that are in the red, but the majority of people are really, really healthy. Thank you, Louise. You're so kind. Oops, wait, I'm going to go back. This. All right. Everyone's always going to tell you about their red hot opportunity. I have to tell you something. I really support our industry, and I do. And there's one company out there in particular I like their products. It's a freeze-dried type product, but it's not something that I would ever do or think about or want to get I pay what the value is because it's worth it. Don't go out there and think, well, I can do this, I can do that. What I'm trying to get across here for the new year is you can't ride two ponies. Figure out what you want to do and just do it. Don't have all these reasons or excuses and be scattered into all these different things. If you want to build your business, then build it. It's really that simple. Remember the things that we embrace. And again, that's why I started it on what we were talking about. Keep moving forward forever. So, again, Jim and I probably do maybe 5% of what we did 27 years ago, and that's okay. That's exactly the reason why we built this business, was so that later on in our life we could retire, and we built it at a very, very fast pace, and we built a very solid foundation. And now I get to go see my grandkids once a month. I fly all over the country and spend a week at a time with them. And, we've been into some situations with Jim that we've really had to address. And Relive has allowed us to do that with his help. So that's been a great thing. Momentum is hard to stop. So once you've got that going, it's good. And are you going to go through brick walls? Of course. But when you're building your business, you go through them. When you're not really actively, sometimes you turn away from them, you turn back, or you try to go around it. You guys, just face things head on. Realize that when someone says no, it doesn't mean it's a sign from above. It doesn't mean that there's, it doesn't mean anything. It just means they said no. I returned some face products yesterday that were very expensive to the lady, and I just said, I really appreciate you helping me. I go, but this isn't working. It's making my face itch. So does that mean that she doesn't believe in what she sells any less? No. It just means no. So I think you need to remember that. Don't go through your walls. Go through them, go over them, but just do that. And the quickest route is always the straightest route. Play with the winning assumption, like when I'm talking to people, I don't have it predetermined what I in my mind I do have it predetermined what I'd like them to do, but I'm not going to be upset if they say no. Okay? So I just don't quit. I don't quit in building the business. I don't quit in setting these appointments. I don't quit in anything. Never, ever quit. And that's just what's different. If you quit doing your job at work, you get fired. Okay? So if you feel that maybe you need to fire yourself for a day, great. But then you get right back. That's what everyone else does in a traditional business. We say that you can be in business for yourself. That's great. But it's also really hard because sometimes you're not willing to apply those same principles as you do working for someone else where you're basically trading your time for dollars. Okay? So recognize that. And again, the whole point of this is if we're going to do it, then let's just do it. Being a leader is one who knows the way, you go the way, and you show the way. That's what we're doing here. I think my next slide is a Christmas slide. Yes, it is. So before I go there, anyone have any comments or anything that they'd like to oops, sorry, let me go back. Anyone have anything that they want to share or anything? Any questions? I have a few minutes. If you guys don't come out, I will tell you. I feel so blessed to know each of you. You've totally blessed my life, whether it's been, in the last year, the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10, whatever it might be. But Relive is something where I was thinking I could go into any country, basically, that Relive's in, any state in the United States, and I'd know someone through Relive that I could go to and say hello or visit or whatever. You guys, Relive is so much more than building a check. It's a lifestyle. And I hope that as you go through the holiday season, the next few weeks as you're with family and you're with friends, do not be the person at the dinner table that, hoses everyone down. Have you heard that Relive? Or if someone asks you, how are you doing? And you go, hey, I'm great. Well, it's because Relive. Don't do that. Just plant the seeds and casual conversation and let them, give them a few little tidbits and let them pull it out of you. What they're doing is they're giving you permission to talk to them. If you don't, you're going to be the person that everyone's going to want to, sit away from at the dinner table. So don't do that. You can build your business over the holidays. Barb, Ruby, Clara, all, started building their business in December. In January, they went master director. February, they all became ambassadors. So, and they started that momentum in August when they had a zero check. You can do anything in Relive if you really want to do it. And I'm just saying, work with your upline and have them help you set your goals for the new year. Don't set them unless you want to work for them. You could maybe define what you want to wish for and what you're willing to work for, because those are two different things. But I know that you can do it. And truly, Jim and I send our very best wishes to everyone that we hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. For me, it's hard to believe that Christmas is a week from Tuesday. It's just, had the house decorated, but I had mentioned to some people this morning, I feel that the time has just been sped up. It's like, where did time go? So I haven't even been able to do my Christmas cards this year, so we might have to reevaluate that. But wishing you all the best and love you very much. And remember, we'll be doing the Zoom presentations coming out. So anyway, Merry Christmas, everyone. Let me stop the recording.